The personal connection. The personal connection.
The personal connection.
The Personal Connection Podcast, the show where we explore the importance of the personal connection and how this translates into business. Discussing the topic with leading professionals to help you unlock the reach your company can have. The Personal Connection Podcast, brought to you by Emotive. One chance to interrupt, make it count. Imagery that instantly connects. So recording this at the end of March, it really is a strange time for us all across the world and all across the UK. We're all isolated, and as people, as individuals, as companies, we're having to try and think about how we can connect to our clients and get our message forward. And possibly more than ever, we're looking at different ways of doing this. We can't get out face to face, so we're using video conferencing. We can't go and visit our loved ones, so we're picking up the phone more and more to speak to them. But as businesses, we've got to be smart at this time as well and think about the way that we communicate and the way that we get our message across to our clients. And today I've got a good friend of mine on the show, Simone from Curious Pencil, talking about ways that we can both be memorable and also to stand out in what can quite often be a noisy environment. Let's dive into the interview. So I'm absolutely delighted to have a good friend of mine on the Personal Connection podcast today, Simone, who's the director of a company called Curious Pencil. And I talk all the time about the importance of the personal connection and why that matters. And as soon as I met Simone for the first time and we got talking about what they do and more importantly, why they do it, there was such a synergy there. Because Simone and Curious Pencil, they create bespoke greetings cards that help, a company really make that connection in a different way with their clients. And for me, that really, really resonated. So Simone, welcome to the Personal Connection. It's great to have you on here, mate.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate being here.
So obviously greetings cards, we've all received them. We've all had everything probably from, the ones from that you order online that you can customize and put photos on, or right the way down to the cheap one that you can go and get from around the corner shop sort of thing. Yeah. Why greetings cards for companies? What brought that idea for you?
Yeah, so I love going into this story because basically we started like any other greeting card company selling in retail. We also sold in craft fairs and things like that, and we would get feedback from our customers saying, "Wow, this really touched me," because the way that we do things, it's myself and my sister. She's the artist and I'm the creative writer. So we actually put a lot of focus on the words and the imagery to make sure it is hard hitting and actually touches on the receiver's emotions. The reason why we kind of started was because of that reason. However, it kind of developed into working with corporates, as whilst we was kind of setting up the business, I was still working part-time as a mortgage advisor. I was working and I'm very much dealing with the customer going through this massive purchase, like the biggest purchase that they would make, buying their home. They're all excited and things like that. And at the end of the journey, we didn't give anything to that customer. We didn't celebrate with them. There was nothing there to kind of tie up our conversations that we've been having for weeks. So it was really at that point when I kind of connected the dots and thought, hold on, actually, why can't businesses do the same thing like what we would do for, just in person with our friends and our family? Why don't we as a business connect with our customers in that way? So I'm very much a people person. That's kind of how it started, creating cards for corporates who want to kind of just basically say thanks, welcome to your new home, celebrate with their customers, really.
Absolutely. And I think it's that big thing as well, that even just writing a simple postcard, that you've actually gone to the effort of writing something. You've written someone's name and address on an envelope. You've gone to the post office to send that to someone. So even that, you've made a big impression. I know when I get cards through from clients and things, I'm absolutely touched by it because they've made a real effort. It's not just sending an email or sending a Facebook message or a text message or anything else. It's that physical, old school sort of contact I think is really, really cool. But then you said you take that one step further and you really tie into people's emotions as well. And I think that is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. I agree. When you say about handwriting the notes, there's something about it. And I think there was a study on it, how the handwriting, just handwritten note can really kind of impact on your emotions because it's not just the handwriting, the handwriting makes you human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally,
and then
totally.
it's a time, like you said, it's a time that it takes to write. The fact that you've thought about them, you've actually put a stamp on it, you've posted it out, all of that comes in kind of one package. So it speaks volumes, I think. And like you said, even when I receive things, and especially I think when it's cards that are unexpected. So, you might get loads of birthday cards and they really touch you. But if you're getting loads at the same time, unless they've got like a special message, not all of them will stand out. But when you are going about your normal day and you receive a card that's unexpected through the post, handwritten note, well,
it's going to
really
stop you in your
back.
tracks, isn't it? So then the power of that then as a business, putting that forward to their clients, that they're reaching out and they're saying you matter. That's the point. It's not just, oh, thanks for your money. It's you matter to us. And I guess it doesn't matter whether it's a mortgage, whether it's going and buying a car or buying a house, whatever, booking a holiday, anything that's someone's invested in you and trusted you. Then if you can turn around and say, we really appreciate you, then as a company, that message I think is just really, really powerful and it's really touching. Yeah,
I mean, even we've got clients who look at giving greeting cards. And like I say, it doesn't have to be a greeting card. It could be anything to just really recognise your customers. But we have companies that give greeting cards on the anniversary of them being a customer, things like that the customer probably thought, I've been with them this amount of time. Do you know what I mean? So a year later, I still appreciate you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And using it amongst their kind of communication just to really stand out.
I think it's just so cool. And I guess with bringing you and your sister involved as well from the wordplay side of things and then the visual creativity with the hand illustration and everything as well. I guess you could, whatever the message is that a company's trying to get at, you could really create something that's quite cool and quite touching, really. And that's the point. You want to really stand out and stay in their minds, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And be on their shelves.
Yeah, exactly. And I think something that I really liked when I first started seeing your cards, I mean, of course, this is audio, so people aren't seeing things. We'll link to the website and everything later on. But one of the things I loved is that a company's branding is almost like an afterthought. It's not about that. It's actually about the person that's receiving it, not the company that's sending it. And that's where I think it works really, really well, what you guys do.
I think we had this conversation before, didn't we, where it was like we kind of work with the client's brief. But a lot of the time what we do tend to kind of reiterate is that we want it to be very genuine, because people can smell if you're not genuine from a mile off. We're very smart as human beings. Like, we know if you're just trying to put your logo all over the players, do you know what I mean? And you're just doing it to say, we're over here, don't forget us. You can see it clearly, but it speaks louder if you are genuinely just sending a card to say, look, we appreciate you, or we congratulate you in your success of X, Y, and Z. So it's really that genuine thing. And then, if like your logo's on there or something, but it shouldn't be the first point of focus of everything. It should be actually, I just want to connect with you and just say, thank you.
Yeah. So rather than it being an age-old typical corporate business card sort of thing that's all about the company, this is the opposite, and it's all about the message that you're trying to get over instead. I think that's really, really cool and really powerful. No doubt about it. And you hit on a really key point there for me. It's something that I hammer a lot with my message when I'm talking to my clients. It's all about being authentic and coming at things true and transparent, because as you say, people will sniff out the BS otherwise. So instead, keep it real and do everything from the right place, and if you do that, you get the rewards. It's as simple as that, really. And I think as well, being memorable, whatever way you can in your customer journey, be memorable, because I always say, in terms of the way that we're wired as human beings, if you touch on my emotions in whichever way, or if you connect with me, then it allows me to have a memory of the way that I felt at that particular time. So if you're making them feel certain ways, you will then become memorable in a way that kind of you maybe didn't even anticipate. So it's about, like you said, just genuinely connecting with that person and making them feel like you're not just a number, like I actually genuinely care about you. So I love what you do in your business as well, because you definitely make that like very clear. Yeah, I mean, taking photos is obviously what I do, but for me, it's going above and beyond that, and it's understanding why a client needs those images and what they're trying to say with them as well. That's a big thing for me, because everything's got an underlying message. Everything's got an underlying meaning, and you've got to think about how someone's going to interpret that when they receive it. So yes, with me with images, I work with clients, so I understand what their brand is, their message, what everything's about, so that what they visually put out there says the right message, but also connects with their audience as well. And it's exactly the same with what you're doing as well, which I think that's why we see such a synergy between our brands and our companies and what we do, really. So when clients come to you, what is the process of working with Curious Pencil? What is it you do? Because, of course, you've got standard ideas, I guess, of cards and things you could do, but when someone comes in, what is the process? So
first of all, we'll kind of have a sit down and a bit of a consultation to kind of work out what it is kind of in their mind, if they've got anything, and if they haven't got anything and they just like the idea of it, we'll just kind of map out their customer journey and just have a bit of a think about where the cards will be best fit. Like I said, the most important part is not the most important part, but a really key part is the surprise element. So it's about working strategically where best the card will be placed. Once we understand that, then we can understand the kind of messaging that we want to put across and how we want to celebrate with them, or whatever it is at that point that we want to put across. We then sit down. So like I said, at the moment, myself and my sister do the creative thinking behind it, but we do also have other artists that we work with, and we will come up with a few ideas to kind of give you a bit of taste of what we're thinking, just sketched ideas. And then we give the company choice on what would be best suited for them. And of course, if they've got branding specifications, that kind of thing, we make sure we tie that in with them. That's if you're going through a bespoke process. So then once all of that is approved, we'll then print them. We can either print them in batch and deliver them so you can hand sign them, or we can do the thing where we can send them out to your customers. But obviously, like we mentioned before, hand signing is always more powerful to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other way you could do it is, like I said, we do have some select pre-made designs, so we can attach your logo on the back, or kind of work the messaging around so it fits with your brand again. But everything that we do is to make it personal to your company, so it's something that is kind of bespoke for you.
Brilliant. It's that whole thing of going that extra mile with your clients and understanding what it is they're trying to do, isn't it? That's the point. It's and you get to be creative, say whether it's visually or with words, to put that message together and do something really, really cool. Putting something together that's really different and totally unique is exactly what we're about at Emotify. Working closely with you to understand the message that you need to put out there to your clients, and what's going to stop them in their tracks, whether it's creating photos that make you stand out, or creating a visual narrative in a video that really tells the story of your client journey and why you are the go-to. If you want to talk to us about your ideas and what we can bring together to take your clients on an exciting journey with you, please do get in touch. You can find us at emotify.co.uk or on all your social media platforms. Right, let's get back to Simone. So, what sort of sectors do you work in? Because I guess that whole personal connection wouldn't really matter, or some arenas wouldn't think it would matter.
Yeah.
So, yes, you've got things like, buying a house. Okay, great. You've worked with that client for weeks, 8, 10, 12 weeks, whatever, until you finally give them that message and they get to receive the keys for their house. Awesome.
Yeah.
But what other sectors have you worked with? Is it something that can work for anyone?
Yeah, so the nice thing about what we do is it literally can flow into any sector, really. Obviously, you've mentioned the mortgage and property side of things, automotive, so obviously big purchases, holidays, tourist market. We've also worked in nuclear companies, as strange as it might sound. But anyone that's got clients and things that they need to send things to, suppliers that they want to thank, or even sometimes within the staff as well. So the HR department from a HR point of view as well.
So rather than just sending an email or anything else, it's, I guess that point of if someone's going off on leave or they've been unwell or something, I guess those are times that you could touch out to someone.
Long service, all of that, So maternity, paternity, all of that. Also with smaller companies who might be sending out any items through the post, like online companies, and they just want to add a personal touch that way. It literally goes from all over the place. So we've been approached by recruitment agencies as well. Well done on your new job. But like I said, even things like the thank yous from accountancy, that's what I was thinking, accountancy firms, but and legal firms and things. But I think it's appreciated in the more traditional kind of corporate world quite a bit because they don't really get much creativity. And that's kind of the world that I came from, which is why it stands out a little bit more because they're so used to, I just couldn't understand why we always get these kind of like, just really corporate letters through the post. Like why? I even had one of our companies come to us and say, you know what, we currently send out, if someone's struggling in making their payments, we currently send out these debt letters. But actually, why not send a card and say, are you okay? Wow, why not do something like that?
How powerful is that as a message?
Exactly.
You're actually caring about that person. Yes, as a company, you want the money, but if you don't help them through it, then it doesn't hurt, does it? Put out that olive branch and give someone that support. And then, I mean, as you say, like with the recruitments, people often move around jobs and move around different places. So if you've really gone above and beyond as a company and looks after them, they're going to come back to you. Your brand is going to be front of mind all the time. And I guess, with people when they're making multiple purchases in different arenas, so like your holiday planners sort of thing. So it makes people then, as soon as they think holiday, straight away they're thinking, I've got to go to Kelly because she's amazing and she really looks after us and she did this, then did that. And you think about how they're going to then talk to their friends and their family about the whole experience.
100%, yeah.
So if you've made someone really feel like they matter, then hell, that goes above and beyond what you actually did as your job, doesn't it?
100%, yeah. Even with the wedding industry as well. Like, I think the wedding industry do quite a good job, to be fair. They make them, even though they might charge a little bit more in some areas, they do, from experience, they do make you feel really special. And I do think that a lot of the other sectors can kind of take things from that, because how special do you feel, when you get married and you're speaking, and every vendor's got something different to kind of just make sure that you feel that personal touch. So why can't that be the same in the other sectors? I don't understand. So it is like what you said, just kind of adding that personal touch.
No, definitely. And I'm glad you mentioned that about, the wedding industry, because of course that's part of half of my business is all around capturing weddings and wedding stories. And I've been doing it for 16 years, but remembering to go that extra step with people is really, really special. I've got little thank you cards that I send out, and I want to definitely work with you guys because I think you could create something really, really cool. Because of course I don't want to put photos on it because that's not going to work then for individual clients. I want to have a bit of fun with it. So we definitely need to head down that creative route and see what we can come together with. Definitely. So all this talk about wedding photography, I just had to jump up and give you a little introduction to the other side of my business. I'm a wedding photographer, a documentary wedding photographer, working throughout the UK and indeed wilder afield. And my company is called Stuart James Photography. For me, the wedding is the most incredible story to capture. From the morning preparations right the way through to one heck of a party on the night. I'm with my couples right the way through, photographing their wedding day literally from the inside out, sharing every moment, capturing every emotion, and recording it all in a way that comes together as a narrative that brings the memories back to life. If you want to see more about the way that we can capture a wedding story, and indeed if you know someone who's getting married who may be looking for a photographer that's that little bit different, head over to stuartjamesphoto.co.uk. Documentary love stories to last and cherish for a lifetime. Anyway, enough about me, back to the interview. yes, we've got the sort of key points and key benefits about why it works, but not talking about your product specifically, but why does it matter to make those impacts with people? Why is it worth putting that extra effort in and going along that route to really stand out?
Like you said earlier, people remember things through kind of their experience, and they will share how they felt with your brand, and share that with friends and family. And we talk a lot, we share a lot of reviews, we talk a lot. And even if we don't see the direct impact that it's had, there is a ripple effect. So recently I was looking into a few things, and there's this phrase that I like to say is that I feel, therefore I buy. So if you feel something, you're going to buy. You've got more tendencies to buy. Bad example, but if I'm really, really hungry and I go food shopping, that is the worst time to buy, because I'm literally buying everything off the shelf because I feel something. So obviously
you feel like you need it and you want it in your life.
Exactly. So we've got to kind of connect with people with their hearts, pull on their kind of their heartstrings to be like, actually, do you know what? We care about you. Like we said before, actually we didn't mention this before, but people do business with people. And no matter how digital we become, even in this time, we've got so much going on in so many different ways, so many different angles, and we're all kind of trying to work things through. But one thing that has really hit home for a lot of people is that we've been asked to be in isolation. And why is that so difficult for people? It's difficult for people because we miss people. We want to have that connection. As a human and our makeup, we like to be connected and we need to feel connected. So I think it's not a case of should we. I think we must. It's difficult for your brand to grow if there's no connection with your, so you have to delve into that and work out how you can do it.
Totally. And I mean, for me, I see it as many different ways you can get yourself out there and as many different streams as you can get out there, the more you will have a chance to connect with people. That's the point.
Yeah.
So I've always embraced, doing video sort of thing and talking to people as like this. But it's so important to do it. That's the thing. I mean, of course, if I'm not out shooting, I'm normally isolated on my own in my home office, me and the dog, that's it, sort of thing. But of course now, as you've just mentioned, as a nation, we're isolated like crazy. So having touch points is so important. So now I think people are seeing it more than ever that speaking matters, and taking the time to go above and beyond really, really, really matters as a business, because we need that attention. That's the point. And so embrace putting yourself out there with great photos, embrace video, showcase the real fun, quirky side of what you do with your Instagram stories and your Facebook stories and all that sort of stuff as a brand. But then think about throwing something different in there, like a handwritten card, when somebody doesn't expect it. And then if you've got all those different touch points, I mean, it used to be 7 touch points before someone bought from you. They're now saying it's like 12 or more. So it's like, wow. You've got to be creative to really make that emotional connection with someone. But then once you hit it, boom, they're literally eating out the palm of your hands. And that's the point. People buy people. So if you can connect your personality with them, sweet. You're onto a winner, aren't you?
Definitely. I think, like you said, with video and things like that, there's so many ways to do it. Obviously, I do it one way, you do it another way. But there's so many different ways that we can connect with people. But I do also think, like you said, with video, and it's not just that. It's like being, like we mentioned before, being authentic in in your communication.
Being transparent.
Even in this time, like, it's so refreshing to hear that, like, I'm not on my own, that there's other people who've got small businesses who are feeling the same pressure, because they're being open and transparent, which makes you connect with them. As it may seem counterintuitive, because we always told to show the best side of ourselves, but actually, let's bring the walls down, because people don't want the kind of puffed up person. They just want to connect with someone on a genuine level. So that's what. That's what I think.
Totally, mate, totally. And I'm really with you on that. And I think, as you mentioned, yes, you've got the opportunity where you can write the cards and send them out to people and everything. But I think if you can, as a person and as a company, can make that effort yourselves to do it, then they'll get to know that it's you that's scribbled. I mean, anyone who receives anything handwritten from me, it's actually a skill to try and decipher what I've written. I think my handwriting is one stage off a doctor. So it's... But at least then I've done something. I've put something out there. That's why I say I need your help with the graphics and the words to actually put something that they can see and read, and then I can just scribble next to it. But yeah, it's have a bit of fun, and just be yourselves and just showcase what you can do really to make that difference to a client's life. Because if you make the difference, then they'll want to work with you. Yeah.
And was it you that said that you had a friend that used to write in letters and then write in cards and then kind of just scribble out just to show that you made a mistake?
They'll deliberately make a small error normally on the envelope, because the envelope gets discarded. But it shows that they're human, and it's just a subconscious thing, but it just shows that you're not all polished and perfect. And why not do that? And if you make a mistake on a card, whatever, just correct it, sort of thing, and just put a little silly face next to it, and people will be like, I do that as well. And straight away then you'll actually connect again with people, which is really, really cool.
100%.
Totally. So, I mean, we've already talked about different mediums and everything, and I guess something that you're isolated from doing at the moment, but I know you love doing, is your performance poetry and everything. Because I know with yourself and your sister and your husband, isn't it, I believe? You go off and perform and everything. And I guess is that where the wordplay comes from for you? Yeah, so to connect the two, I am a poet. I'm also dyslexic. I also have a passion for people. So the three together, I like to make my message really clear, because being dyslexic, I'm just very much about clarity. So in my poetry and my performance and the way I do things, I want to make things crystal clear so people understand and connect, and tangible things, tangible words, making the words come to life. So I'm very much about that. And then obviously with connecting with people, a lot of what I do in my poetry is tell stories, bring stories to life, whether it's my own story or if it's a story of someone else, but connecting people in that respect. I absolutely love poetry and music. And when I write poetry while listening to music, even if it's just background instrumental music. I just kind of get a feel for what to write through that. But yeah, I'm very much about not having things on a service level and just kind of going a little bit deeper. One of the times that I realized that actually with the cards, they have the same kind of impact is, we wrote a card where it was like facing forward and let your shadows fall behind us. So it goes, let's face the sun and let our shadows fall behind us. Okay. And that was given to someone. It actually helped them basically in their marriage because they was having tough times. And I remember the lady coming to me and she was crying. She was like, gave this to my husband. And that's when I was like, wow. Like, this is powerful. This actually matters. Yeah. This actually matters. It's more than just a card. So that was really a trigger moment for me where I was like, well, we need to take this further. But yes, I love poetry and music and writing words, wordplay, playing around with that. And words are important. Just love it. Love it, mate. Love it. So obviously, seeing that side of you at the moment isn't exactly possible. But if I wanted to see the Curious Pencil side of things, where are people best to go? So Curious Pencil, www.curiouspencil.co.uk, or we're on Instagram, which is curious_pencil_limited, which is LTD, or we're on Facebook, which is Curious Pencil. And our poetry name is Hidden Notes. So you can find us on YouTube. We're still trying to upload a lot more content on there. Not great at doing that. Probably need to go to you for doing a good video absolutely. For us. Maybe we should do that. Let's have a creativity swap sort of thing and see what we can come up with for each other. 100%. Yeah. So we're still trying to get a bit more content on there, but we're under Hidden Notes.
And you can see what we do on YouTube, or we're on Instagram as well as Hidden Notes.
Sweet. I'll put all the links in the show notes so everyone can go and check out what you do. And I guess, with the cards, they can request a free sample pack and all that, so they can actually feel the quality of what you do as well. Yeah. Because that's the other thing. It's not a cheap production, is it? It's something that feels good in the hand as well.
Yeah.
Because every touch point matters, and it's the same thing, isn't it? So
I think if you receive, I've received cards that are very cheap and flimsy, and just kind of, it takes away the meaning, because I know you're trying to reach out to say, look, I care, but when it's so executed not quite as well, it does also impact the other way. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's an important message there. It's remember how much you value your clients and make sure you show them that every single way. So, if that includes spending a little bit more money on your print run, it's worth it. Yeah. It's because it will really matter. But awesome. Simone, mate, it's been absolutely brilliant to have a chat with you today. And as I said at the very start, I love what you guys create and what you do. And more importantly, I love why you do it. The fact that you came in from a really authentic place of seeing that thing missing in industry, and then brought your talents together to help other companies have that connection. I just think it's absolutely awesome. So definitely, I hope everyone goes and checks out your stuff, sees ways of working with you, and keep this connection to your clients going.
Definitely. Right back at you as well. Love what you do. I love what you do. And thanks for having me as well.
My absolute pleasure. Cheers, mate. And there we go. What an interview. What an insight into something that's completely unique and completely special. The work that Simone and her sister do to create these amazing touch points that you can use to really connect with your clients are just absolutely brilliant. So I highly recommend you heading over to Curious Pencil and checking out what they do, ordering a sample pack and getting involved. In these times now, we're thinking more and more about how important it is to keep communication going. And remember the age-old fact that it's a hell of a lot easier and a hell of a lot cheaper to keep your existing client base than it is to find the new ones. So make every chance that you can to make your existing clients feel special. Stand out in their minds all the time, and you will be the go-to for whatever you do. I'm Stuart James from Emotive Eye, taking that one chance to interrupt and truly connect your message to your perfect client. If you want to find out more, head to emotiveeye.co.uk or find us on social media. And Simone, again, if you're listening, thank you for your time, mate. Really loved our chat and cannot wait to work with you, both for seeing what you can create for my companies, but also capturing you doing the other side of things with your performance poetry. Take care, and everyone out there, stay safe.